complements. I've finished replacing all the wall and ceiling linings on the inside of this sleepover, so now I can refit the windows. I mentioned earlier in this series that the windows had been incorrectly all sealed with window putty, and when I removed the old running lights to replace them with new LED ones, I found even the running lights had been sealed on the back with window putty. So somebody really got it wrong. What am I going to use instead? Well, most people would probably go for something like silicone window sealer. This is a great product, retains a lot of flexibility and is bulletproof as far as waterproofing goes. But the problem with this stuff is you can't paint over it. And I'm going to repaint this Caravan shortly, and the paint will be around the sides of the windows where the sealant is. So I can't use silicone because the paint wouldn't stick to it. What I'm going to use instead is acrylic gap filler. You can get this a dime a dozen at any hardware shop. I buy them by the box these days. A great product because it not only seals, you can paint over it. If you're ever doing a project like this, or removing and replacing windows to reseal them against rain coming in, the problem with both of these products is they are adhesives, and they will glue your window in place and seal it fair enough, but you'll never get it out. If you want to seal windows into a Caravan and yet still retain the possibility of later down the track, if you want to, being able to remove them, what you need to do is to leave the sealant on the Caravan and have the window come away clean. Agree? So what you do is, as you fit the window, you spray the window on the inside of its sealing surface with one of these many brands of aerosol oils like RP7 or WD-40 or whatever your local equivalent is. The sealant will still make a seal, but it'll only adhere to the Caravan. It won't adhere to the window. So you get a perfect watertight seal, and yet you can still pop the window off later down the track if you want. In my humble opinion, this is where you want mess. If you've got sealant oozing out everywhere, that tells you you've got a good bond between the window edge and the sides of the Caravan. There's two ways you can deal with the excess. If you're using silicone, I would be tempted to just leave it, and then when it's set the next day or two, come along with a razor blade and clean it up that way, because silicone's pretty messy to clean up. If you decide you want to wipe the silicone off, then do what you do when you're using it in a bathroom. Spray it with any aerosol household detergent cleaner, and then wipe it off. But with no more gaps, what I'm going to do is I'll get all my screws in, and then I'll go around with a wet rag and wipe it all off and clean it up. One advantage of refitting a window is that all your holes are already here, so you don't have to drill anything. I get the bulk of the excess sealant, acrylic sealant, off with a scraper, and because, as I said before, I'm going to paint this Caravan, that excess sealant out on the bodywork of the Caravan will be no problem at all. I've tried to find somewhere to put my outdoor shower, and the problem I'm having is not so much finding somewhere where I can mount the shower as finding somewhere where I can put a screen around it so I can get the privacy that I need to have an outdoor shower. And the bottom line is I haven't got anywhere. I was going to put it on the back here, but with these open sides, I don't want to have to put curtains there and all that sort of thing so people won't see through. So I've decided to ditch the outdoor shower And then I realised that the only other thing that I needed hot water for was for washing up dishes. And I'm designing this for 1, maybe 2 night stays at the most, and I thought, well, all I've got to do is boil a kettle for that. So I've realised that I don't need a shower, I can do without that. I don't need a hot water service, so I can do without that. So I'm just going to have one of the 2 water tanks. There's 2 here, I'll take one out because I don't need that much water, and that just makes things simpler. I've made and welded in position the back sides for the trailer where the floor it has been lowered, and I've made the sections up for the balance of it, but I can't install these because they go right over where the middle of the tyres are at the moment. So I'm at the stage now that I've got the windows in. I can drag the trailer out, give it a real good jet wash and bring it back in, and it'll be clean, and I can do a lot of other things then when it's clean, including taking the axles out and widening them, and then I can drop these in. Not running a hot water service now on this trailer means that I've been able to go from 2 bottles down to 1. So I've got rid of that bracket on the front, and then I've realised that this is the best place for me to store the 2 spare wheels. You'll remember that one of the first things that I took off the Caravan when I started stripping it was that huge bar across the back that had been added on. It was way over engineered. I've cut the mounting fixtures off it, and I'll be able to do a much lighter version on the front here. Have both my spare wheels here with the single gas bottle. Putting these spare wheels forward of the axles will give the car much better balance when the trailer is loaded with the car on it, because the more weight I can bring forward, the less likelihood there is that the trailer will fishtail when it's got a car on it. And I've had a complete 180 degree spin. Well, I've actually had 2 with loaded car trailers, and I don't want to have the 3rd one. So putting these 2 spare wheels up the front means they're easy access, they won't obstruct anything. I can still open the storage bin, and I get the weight forward. So I'm going to fabricate a bar that will allow me to fit them here.